Good morning, first graders. We made it to Friday. I thought we could kick this Friday off by singing one of our favorite class songs, Old Town Road. So I'm going to play the music and I want you to sing along.
I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I got the horses in the back. Horseback is attached. Patty's Matty Black. Got the bushes black to match. Riding on my horse. You can look your Porsche. I've been in a valley. You ain't been up off that porch now. Anybody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Anybody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Riding on a tractor, riding on my bladder.
All right, first graders, I think you've heard enough of me singing. Let's go ahead and get our Friday started. Let me share my screen so you can see what we're learning today. Alrighty, so today is Friday. Let's start our Friday off with our morning greeting. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to choose what you would like to do. Good morning, first graders. I hope you got my fist bump. All right, now let's take some time to think about how we're feeling today. You're either in the red, the yellow, the blue, or the green. When I say go, point to where you are. Go. Oh, I saw friends pointing to yellow. I know I'm in the yellow. I am excited and happy because we made it to Friday. All right, first grade, remember, we do it right or we do it again. Let's get our learning started. Let's read this morning message. I read, then you read. Good morning, friends. Today is Friday, April 17th, 2020. It is almost the weekend. What are you excited to do this weekend? Miss Winkler is excited to sleep and watch TV. Let's have a great day. Love, Miss Winkler. All right, so I'm excited to sleep and watch TV. When I say go, you're going to tell us what you're excited to do this weekend using a complete sentence. Go. Ooh, I hear lots of first graders doing really cool things this weekend. All right, let's continue on. So our schedule for today, you should have eaten breakfast so your tummy has energy and your brain has energy to think and learn. You should have gone on Canvas and learned and checked your announcements. If you were in group 1, you've already learned with me. Now you're watching a reading video because today is Friday. You're going to take a break for lunch and specials. Then if you're in teams 2, 3, or 4, you're going to get in small groups with me. And the last thing you're going to do is Path Blazer. All right, so let's talk about what we're learning today. We finished The Frog and the Prince on Wednesday, and now we're going to start a new fairy tale today. And this fairy tale is called Hansel and Gretel. Everyone say Hansel and Gretel. And that's part 1 because there's 2 parts in Hansel and Gretel. So we're going to read half the story today and half the story on Monday. Then after you finish reading the first half of the story, you're going to get to do a writing activity where you write at least 1 sentence about Hansel and Gretel. Capiche? All right, let's start. Let's read our I can statement so you know exactly what we're learning. I read, then you read. I can identify the problem Hansel and Gretel have, and explain how they tried to solve it. So I want you to listen today for the problem Hansel and Gretel have. And then in the second story, you're going to learn how they solved their problem. Let's start reading. You're tracking the computer so you know what's being said. Once upon a time, near a deep, dark forest, there lived a poor woodcutter with his wife and 2 children. Everyone show me 2. The boy was named Hansel, and the girl was named Gretel. The family never had very much to eat, and now, when times were hard, people around the land were starving, and the poor woodcutter could not get enough food to feed his family. As he lay in bed one night, tossing and turning with worry, he turned to his wife and said, "What is going to happen to us? How can we feed our poor children when we haven't got enough for ourselves?" "Listen to me," said his wife. "Early tomorrow morning," the cold-hearted woman said, "we'll take the children deep into the woods. We'll give each of them a piece of bread and make a fire. Then we'll leave them and go about our work. They won't find the way home in time for dinner, and we'll eat their share." "No," said the man, "I cannot do that. I cannot leave my children alone in the woods where the wild animals are. It will get dark and cold as the sun sets." "Then you're a fool," snapped the woman. "You might as well accept it that we will all starve." She nagged the poor man and scolded him. Remember, scolded means to yell, and kept at him until at least he agreed. "But I feel sorry for my poor children," he said quietly. Look, the poor man is very sad. I would be sad too if someone was trying to give us away. The 2 children were so hungry that they had not been able to sleep, and so they've heard everything their stepmother said to their father. Gretel cried, but Hansel whispered, "Don't worry, I'll think of something." And when their parents had gone to sleep, Hansel got up, put on his little coat, and sneaked outside. The moon was shining brightly, and the white pebbles that laid in front of the house glittered. Glittered means shine, just like in the picture, like silver coins. Hansel stopped and filled the pocket of his coat with as many pebbles as he could hold. Then he tiptoed back in and said to Gretel, "Go to sleep, little sister." I want you to put your hand on your head and make a prediction. What do you think Hansel's going to do with the little pebbles he collected? I hear friends saying that he's going to make a path. I hear friends saying that he's going to offer them to his mom. Let's see what happens. At daybreak, which means when the sun rises, the woman came and woke the 2 children. "Get up, you lazy bones. We're going to the forest to get some wood." And she gave them each a piece of bread and said, "That's your food for the day. Don't eat it all at once because it's all you're going to get. We will have supper after we return from the woods. That is, if you're home in time." Gretel carried both pieces of bread in her apron, for Hansel's pockets were full of petals. They all started on their way to the forest. As they walked, Hansel kept turning and looking back at the house again and again. His father said, "Hansel, what are you looking at? You must watch where you're going." "Oh," said Hansel, "I'm just looking at my little white kitten sitting on the roof of the house to say goodbye." The wife said, "You little fool, that's not your kitten. That's the sun shining on the chimney. Now come along." But Hansel stayed a few steps behind and kept turning each time he dropped a little pebble from his pocket to mark the way. Give me a thumbs up if that was your prediction. All right, let's keep reading. When they were deep in the forest, the father said, "Gather some firewood, children. I'll start a fire so you won't get cold while we work." Hansel and Gretel gathered a little mountain of twigs and sticks, and when the fire was burning, the wife said, "Stay by the fire, you 2. We have to go and cut wood. When we're finished, we'll come back to get you." So Hansel and Gretel sat by the fire. After a time, they ate their bread, and after a longer time, they got so tired that they closed their eyes and fell asleep. When they woke up, it was dark and they were all alone. Gretel began to cry, but Hansel comforted her. That means he helped take care of her. "Wait a little until the moon rises," he said. When the full moon had risen, Hansel took his little sister by the hand and followed the pebbles which glittered like silver coins and showed them the way. They walked on through the night, and at last, at the break of dawn, they came to their father's house. They knocked on the door, and when the woman opened it, she was shocked. Show me your shocked face. Shocked means surprised. But all she said was, "Why, there you are. Why did you stay so long in the forest? We thought you were never coming home again." Of course, their father was glad to see them, for it had broken his heart to leave them alone. Not very long afterward, times were hard again, and there was little food to eat. Again, the children heard their stepmother say to their father one night, "There's nothing left but a half a loaf of bread. After that, we're done. We don't have enough food for ourselves and the children. This time will take them so deep in the forest that they won't find their way back for a week." "But wife," said the man with a heavy heart, "it would be better to share our last bite of food with the children." But the wife would not listen to him, and she knew if she kept at him, she would get him to give in and agree with her plan as he did before. Everyone say, "Uh-oh." Much later, when their parents were asleep, Hansel got up to collect pebbles just as he did before. But he couldn't get out. His stepmother had figured out how they found their way home last time and had locked the door. So Hansel got back in bed and tried to think of a different plan. I want you to put your hand on your head and think, what can Hansel do this time to find his way home? I'm hearing friends say that you could find stuff in the woods to mark your path. I'm hearing that he could just try and remember what steps he took. Okay, let's see if he does that. Early the next morning, the woman roused the children out of bed. She gave them a piece of bread and even smaller than before. As they walked into the woods, Hansel broke the bread in his pocket, and every once in a while he stopped to throw a crumb on the ground. "Hansel," said his father, "what do you keep looking back for?" "I'm looking at a little pigeon that's sitting on the roof and wants to say goodbye to me," answered Hansel. "Little fool," said the wife, "that's not a pigeon. It's only the sun shining on the chimney." So they walked on, and Hansel dropped breadcrumbs along the way. The woman led the children deeper into the forest than they had ever been in all their lives. Again, they gathered sticks for a fire, and the woman said, "Sit there, children, and when you are tired, go to sleep. We're going to cut wood, and then we're finished. We'll come get you." Later, when it was lunchtime, Gretel shared her small piece of bread with Hansel, because he had left his in crumbs along the path. They fell asleep, and as evening came, no one came to get them. When they woke, it was dark and they were alone. When the moon rose, they started for home, but they could not find the breadcrumbs. Uh-oh, the birds had eaten them all up. "Come, Gretel," said Hansel. "I know we can find our way," but they couldn't find it. They went on all night, and the next day from morning until evening, but they could not find their way out of the forest. They were terribly hungry, for they had had nothing to eat but a few berries. When they were so tired that they could drag themselves no farther, they laid down under a tree and fell asleep. Alrighty, that is the end of our story right now. When we start our story again on Monday, we're going to figure out what they do when they wake up. The last thing I have, boys and girls, is our word. Our word today is comforted. Raise your hand if you've ever been sad. Okay? When you've been sad, if you've been sad in school, or if you've been sad at home, someone like me or your parents has probably comforted you and made you feel better. That's what Hansel did for Gretel in the story. Everyone say comforted. Good. The last thing we need to do is our writing activity. When I say go, you're going to get your writing pad out and write your first name, last name, and date. The date is 4-17-20 if you're not sure. Go. All right, if you need more time to write your name and date, hit the pause button at the bottom of the screen. Now, we're going to write a sentence about Hansel and Gretel. I want you to put your hand on your head and think, what happens in Hansel and Gretel? I see lots of friends thinking. I hear that one said that they got lost in the woods. I hear one say that he collected pebbles. I hear one say that his mom was trying to get rid of him. You're going to make one good sentence. Now, if you can write more than one sentence, I expect you to do so. Once you finish your sentence, you're going to get to draw a picture that matches your writing. Let's read the sentence stem so you know how your sentence should start. Repeat after me. In Hansel and Gretel, blank. You're going to finish the blank with your idea of what happens in Hansel and Gretel. When you finished your writing and your picture, you're going to have your parents text me a picture of your hard work. Capiche? All right. I love you all very much. I cannot wait to see your hard work, and I will see you for your last small group of the week. Bye.